have this journal set that I use as day-to-day diaries, and each year I use a different colored one. They have these plain black pages in the middle that I don't know exactly the purpose of. For my 2019 journal, I decided to make use of those pages by making a collage section using pictures I'd taken over the course of that year. Can you put the claws away? It's just me, damn it. Like, you're acting like as if I've never, held you before in your life. And before you try to tell me that I haven't, you're a liar. We both know it. Because you have been held plenty of times, so we both know that that wouldn't be true. This was the collage from my 2020 journal. I was supposed to do it in January, but I kept forgetting about it and putting it off in favor of other projects. Because the pages are black, there's very few markers that will show up on the page, so I cut up blank paper to write little notes about the pictures and list the dates. Rather than listening to music like I normally would, I chose to do it in silence this time. It was really relaxing and therapeutic. Hey, Nug. You're on top of my pictures. Why would you do that? You're on top of everything. You're gonna have to move, Ken. You smell good. You smell like you. It's a compliment, of course. Just need to find the pictures. Here. Don't have a problem with you being there, you were just in the way. I spent a few hours doing the pages for January to May and then had to stop as it was late and my body was really starting to ache. I got up early the next morning and got back to work, starting from June. Shorty? Hey! Shorty, you gotta stop doing that bug. Like, pick a spot and stick to it, please, and thank you. In total, I spent about 4 or 5 hours creating these spreads. It was a relief to finally have it done and crossed off of my list of things to do. Now I'm done. For the second week of June, I did another crafty project, this time making jewelry. I have this large container of embroidery thread that I got from an aunt like 10 years ago that rarely sees the light of day, and in it is also a bunch of beads and such from a make your own jewelry gift package I got maybe like 15 or more years ago. Last year, my best friend Sav and I dug into it and made some jewelry that was pretty fun and something different from the usual, so I decided I would do that again. When I started going through everything to see what I had to work with, I noticed how poorly organized this stuff is, and I initially told myself, no, I'll stay on track for the sake of this video and just make the jewelry and worry about that another day. But then my ADHD got distracted and I spent about an hour organizing and forgot about the actual task I was supposed to be doing. Making jewelry is a pretty mindless activity, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily mindless for me. I feel like when people talk about doing stuff like this, they often say that it helps them to not think about anything, kind of clear their head, hence the task being mindless. But I literally don't know how to do that. My brain does not shut up at all, ever. At any point. I think maybe sometimes it quiets my brain, but most of the time it just gives my brain enough of a task that I can actually focus my thoughts more and work through whatever it is I'm needing to think about. Does that make sense? Like my hands are busy, and the part of my brain that needs to be focused on a physical task is doing something, so then that gives me a chance to think about things better and more clearly. I tried making it make sense, but I don't know if that helps at all. Anyway, I can guarantee that unless a task requires a very large amount of concentration, like doing tiny details in a painting or working out like a numbers problem, like calculating something or whatever the case may be, something like that, I am literally always actively thinking about something at any given moment in time. That's just how my brain works. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't really know. Anyway, back to the jewelry. For the jewelry, I decided to make what could be a bracelet, but I actually don't have any of the little clip things, so it's just this long string of beads for now. I used the last of these big blue abstract beads, the last of my shells, and what I think must have been all of these little clear beads to make a summary design. I wanted it to feel cool and relaxing like the beach. I also made another inspired by my nanny's favorite color and this little angel charm thing, as she loves angel imagery, but I didn't film it for time reasons. I hung the beachy summery one on my board, and I honestly don't think I'll ever get clips to make it as a bracelet, so that's how it's gonna stay. I started a TikTok account that's specifically for dance covers of Japanese songs back in July. So far, it's just Hello Project songs because those are the dances I already know and can pop out pretty regularly until I learn new choreos. I usually take one day each week, usually Saturday or Sunday, and film 3 or so of them and have them in the drafts to post Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This isn't always the schedule, but it's what I try my best to do. For this week, I chose a Kyoto song and 2 Bono songs. I kept having issues with my computer glitching when playing the audio, so it was difficult at times as I'd have to stop and start over. That may be the one. I'm gonna do it one more time though. One more time. on to song number 2. Take 2. Take 3. Take 3. Sometimes I have to do several takes. There's been times I've done close to or more than a dozen, and it can get exhausting. That might be the one, but I think I gotta do it one more time. I think that's the one, even though I didn't kick high enough. I'll do it one more time and see. Our songs was absolutely one of the hardest to do out of all the ones I've done. Not because the choreo is particularly difficult, though it is more difficult than it looks, but because it took so many takes and the leather jacket was not the most comfortable piece to dance in. my jacket is so hot to dance in. And it's funny because for the Bono remix, I was planning on wearing that exact outfit for the last one, except I'd wear it with my knee-high boots instead of my runners. And now I'm not so sure. I'm gonna have to wear that for 15 minutes, and just dancing for like 1 minute in that jacket is super sweaty. I honestly don't know how Bono used to do it. Dancing in leather jackets, holy shit. Anyway, so that's done. So now I just have to decide which shots I want to use, because for our songs, I just don't want to keep dancing in that leather jacket. Like I'm kind of done. I did it a couple of times and there was 3 takes that I liked, but there was parts of each of them that I didn't love, so I have to decide which one is the best, where the parts that I don't love are not as bad, and go from there. Now the rest of the process is just editing them and posting them. I won't bother showing you that boring stuff, so this is how they turned out. Funny story. When I uploaded the original version of this video, it included the 3 TikTok videos in full. I didn't want anyone to have to go dig through my TikTok just to see how they turned out. But YouTube flagged Take It Easy and Our Songs as copyright issues, and as a result my video is not eligible for monetization. I have little to no views on average, so I make no money off of these videos anyway, and I'm largely doing YouTube just for fun right now. But I put way too much time and energy into these videos to not make sure that they're eligible if that ever changes in the future. So I'm having to upload this video without the full versions of those 2 songs, and instead I will link them in the description box below if you care to see those 2. With that said, here's how To Tomorrow turned out. If you enjoy Japanese music and watching dance covers to Japanese songs, feel free to follow my dance TikTok. I also have a YouTube dance channel under the same name where I do dance remixes and do them in one take. So if that's your thing, if you're interested in that, you can subscribe there as well. The original list specifically stated to lay in the grass, but I just could not bring myself to do that. I worry about bugs and crap, you know? So I settled for sitting on our concrete patio with my dog. This sucked a lot because the sun was really bright and it was hard to actually look at the clouds. So I followed Wiley's lead and gathered my things and moved over a bit to the shady side of the patio. This was much better and would have been fine to stick with, but then I got a much better idea. I grabbed Wiley's water bowl and a bag of chips for snacking, but realized once I got there that I don't think I can confidently leave that bag of chips with Boo while I come back to get the rest of my stuff. The clouds are really puffy and perfect for cloud watching. I stayed out there for over an hour eating chips and watching the clouds. It was a beautiful day out. It was warm and had a nice breeze. It was just very comfortable and relaxing.
Come over and eat. Have a snack. Come on. Oh, boo. Oh, you're limited? Here, come this way. This way. There you go. Lie down. Sit. You can lie down if you'd like. Lie down. Lie down, Bill. Oh, boy. You can have the green ones. I don't know those. Careful, gentle. One for me. One for Boo, okay? Gentle. Third time's the charm, huh? Ah! That wasn't gentle at all. Gotta work on that. Okay, one more, okay? Gentle. On the ground so you don't bite my fingers again. Good boy. I had to cut my little time outside with Wiley short though. I probably would have stayed out there a little bit longer if it weren't for the fact that apparently I've developed some environmental allergies I don't think I ever had before, but my eyes were so irritated and watery that I couldn't see much of anything, let alone the clouds, and it got to the point where there was like tears like streaming down my face. It was awful. And I ended up having to come inside because I just couldn't take it anymore. Like my eyes didn't sting, but they weren't like they just felt irritated, and it was awful. Like, but it was a fun time. It was something that was kind of different, a change in my routine, a change in my day-to-day stuff that I do. So it was fun, and I enjoyed it while it lasted. Brings us to the end of June. July and August are currently in the editing stages and will be up within the next 2 weeks, hopefully, if everything goes well, and then September should be up by the end of October. I apologize for how inconsistent this series has been, although I recognize as I'm looking at my analytics that nobody's watching these anyway. If you are someone that is enjoying this series, if you like watching these and you want to see more from me and see how my channel grows here on YouTube, you can hit that subscribe button. If you are someone that likes this series but maybe you might prefer shorter 3-minute or less versions of each week, my TikTok is listed in the description box. Right now I'm currently posting like 3 to 4 or more of them a week until I've caught up, and then once I've caught up they will be probably posted weekly there, and then I'll be posting the full monthly versions here on YouTube as usual. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in July's video.